How's it going, everyone? It is September 18th, 2019, and it's time for the weekly update. This week, I got ghosted by a girl that I've been talking to for a couple months. It's always fun when, out of nowhere, you lose contact with somebody that you've been talking to, maybe you even really cared about, and you don't know why it happened. So that's what happens to me. And let me say this, though. A lot of times in the past, what would have happened would have been, because yes, I have gotten ghosted before, never fun. But in the past, what I would have done is I would have allowed it to play with my head, to play with my self-esteem. And granted, that's an easy thing to allow to happen. But what I'm doing this time around is I am reframing the way that I look at it. And I'm looking at it in a position of growth instead of regression. So, judging yourself against what someone else thinks about you or what someone else has done to you, that's a real thing. And in some form or fashion, we are always thinking about what somebody else thinks about us. I think everyone does that. That's why they don't wear certain clothes out the door. They're not going to go showing up in their pajamas and their slippers to a boardroom meeting. They're not going to go out without their hair done, without brushing their teeth, and have this foul breath as they're talking with whoever they might come in contact with. All of these things are forms of caring what other people think about you and adjusting your life accordingly. And it's not always bad. We need to brush our teeth. We need to wear presentable attire when we go places. But in the realm of caring about what somebody thinks about your value and then determining your own value off of what someone has done to you or what they have said to you or the way that they have treated you, or in this case, the lack of what they are doing, the full absence of it, you can reframe that. You can reframe it into a positive situation where you reaffirm the value that you have within yourself, and you do it in the midst of something like this happening. Instead of saying that my value is only determined by when I am successful or when so-and-so likes me or approves of me, or when I'm this popular, or when I have this many followers on, my YouTube subscription. Instead of looking at things like that, you just reaffirm your value for yourself and say that no matter what happens, I know where I'm going and I'm going to grow from this. It's going to be a growing experience, and I'm also going to say that no matter what, my value is established. My identity is established, and it isn't determined by anybody else on the planet. Because bottom line is, we control what happens in our minds. The internal dialogue, the internal state of being that we experience, we are the ones that control all of that. All of the thoughts that you put into your mind about what you think about yourself in the light of failure or success is always determined by you. So, this is me saying, this time I move forward, I move onward, and I say I recognize that I'm going to exciting, amazing places that are better than where I've ever been before. And if somebody doesn't recognize that and they walk away from that, that's not on me. I'm not carrying that with me. I wish them the best. I wish them all happiness in life. That's where I'm going with mine. And I'm not going to sit around and wait to have somebody's approval before saying that I'm ready to move forward into that space. So, part of growing is a continual push forward through the hard times. when you are working out, when you are lifting weights, you are not lifting something that feels easy to you. If you are, you're never going to get stronger. And when you want to become like ripped, you want to get jacked or whatever, you have to press forward into the hard territory where your muscles are left screaming at you, feeling sore, feeling like, man, what did I just do? And you could make the case that you are struggling. You are struggling to lift the weights. But if you frame it differently and correctly, you understand what's happening. The struggle is what is producing the new improved version of yourself. So that's where I'm at this week. That's what I've been working on, how I've been improving myself. I'm pretty stoked about it. And I'm definitely a better person than I was when I started doing these vlogs. And it happened because I'm pushing into new territory, saying and affirming for myself what my value is. One thing that you can try and do that I've been doing every morning is I'm writing a list down in my journal of things that I'm grateful for. And then each morning I go over that list and I read it. I read it out, sometimes out loud, sometimes to myself, but then I focus on it and I rest and I meditate in the feeling of gratitude. Gratitude is an extremely powerful emotion as far as taking your body and healing it. In the mental department, but not just there, you're also healing it in the physical department. As I shared last week, there's a neuroscientist named Dr. Caroline Leaf. She talks about how in her studies, they have demonstrated that positive emotions, gratitude being one of the best, and joy, these emotions are shown to heal you on the cellular level, as if your cells are wired for optimism and for positivity. So check that out and see what that can do for you. And just remember to just thank God and be thankful for your own life. As it is, come to terms with it and say, I'm pushing forward into a space where I am happy and positive towards everything that is going on in my life, including the struggles, including those hard times. So that's what I got for this week. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like me on Facebook. I've got a page called Believe You Me. You can follow me on that. I'm also on Twitter. I have like a whopping 9 followers on there, I believe. It's pretty awesome. So until next week, love you guys. Talk to you later.